What is up, my beautiful internet friends? So today's video is going to be a TMI Tuesday video, and it is freaking overdue. It's been like 4 months since my last one. I'm so sorry. If you're new to my channel, a TMI Tuesday video is where you guys ask me questions. It can be about me or about advice for you or life in general or whatever you want to know. I may or may not have an answer for you. Make sure to leave me a question for the next TMI Tuesday down below in the comments, and let's jump into today's. Did I tell you my teeth? You guys would tell me, right? First question is from Veronique Foley, and you're asking, can you talk about your septum piercing? I got my septum pierced last June, and it was a very spur of the moment thing for me. I was never particularly a piercings person. I really appreciated them on other people, but I just couldn't really be bothered to get them myself. I had had my ears done since I was a really little baby. My mom had made that choice for me, and I just never really got anything pierced since, so I didn't really care. I didn't want it to be something that I would regret long term. I didn't want a scar from it. I didn't want to fry my hair, or you know what I mean? I wanted something that was simple that I could change my mind back if I didn't like it. And I thought, you know what? I'm gonna get my nose pierced. And I thought a septum would probably work better for me because if I wanted to, I can flip it up. So if you want to, you can literally flip it up and it's gone. I think it is absolutely perfect for someone who doesn't really necessarily want to commit 24/7 to having a nose ring. And it didn't really hurt that much. It was like a really super fast procedure. I got mine done at Skin Candy in Charlestown. They were super awesome, really informative piercer, and I didn't have any problems with healing. The piercing process itself was just one big needle that went right through. The needle went through and I sneezed when the needle was through just because my nose got really irritated just from somebody being near there. She slid the needle out, she put the little hoop thingy in, not hoop, the little like horseshoe hoop thingy, you know what I mean. It wasn't really that painful. I didn't really think it was something that was, I don't know, a scary experience. It was just super simple for me. It healed really fast, like I said, and I think it was 6 or 7 weeks before I changed the jewelry. I think you're supposed to wait 8, but mine healed really fast. I didn't have a problem with it, and I wanted to. So that was my experience. I really love it, and I'm glad I did it. Caitlin Calderon, you're asking, have you ever tried a waist trainer? Yes, I have, and I've used them for underneath like dresses as shapewear. I've used it under costumes. Do I actually think that waist trainers train your waist to be smaller? Fuck no, they are a piece of fabric. If you actually wanted to be serious about waist training, you would know that a corset that has proper boning would be the only way to go. Waist trainers are just a waste of money for people that are actually trying to do anything other than create a instant shape. The only thing that I do think would be helpful with a waist trainer is if you were, say, postpartum, you just had a baby and you need to kind of suck everything back in while everything is kind of healing inside of your body. I can understand that making a difference, but like, your average person just chucking it on, like training your waist to get skinnier, come on. Please don't be so silly. Exercise often, lead a healthy lifestyle. That's the only way that you're gonna have any type of noticeable permanent change with your body. This next question is from, I wanna say it's Alicia, but it's not Alicia. It's Alicja. I like your name, I just don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry. What do you think is the most important in a relationship, and was there anything you feel weird doing in front of your boyfriend when you first moved in together? Loyalty and trust are definitely intertwined in their own little way, but I like knowing that deep down I am Glenn's best friend. You know, we could spend 24/7 together and not get sick of each other. We might want to kill each other at points, but I would never get sick of him, if that makes any sense. I appreciate that he's always loyal and that he's always trustworthy and that we can communicate. I think all of those things are all intertwined into what I find to be the most important in a relationship. And also the fact that we always have fun, you know, like no matter what it is, watching Netflix at home or going out and traveling together, like we always are able to have fun in a situation. And I think that that's so important in a relationship, to never lose that sense of just being silly together and having a good time. And something that I felt weird doing in front of my boyfriend, I mean, nobody wants to fart in front of their partner. Like, it's not one of those things that you're just like ripping it out the second that you move in, you know what I mean? Other than that, I feel like I'm a pretty comfortable person. Like, I'm a very like free, as in I walk around my house naked, and I did that right from the start. He didn't have any problems with that one, funny enough, but you know, like weird little things like that. I am kind of a quirky person and I have my own way of doing things. And I kind of just, you like it or you don't, and he was totally fine with it. So I'm grateful that I was with such an accepting person, but I'm sure that it's probably a little bit overwhelming for him at first, because he didn't grow up with like sisters or a mom, so moving in with a girl was like, whoa. Mishka Ardern says, what are your thoughts on the universe? Do you believe that there's other life out there? Hell yeah, I think that it would be absolutely irresponsible to think that we are the only beings in the universe. We are but a speck on the timeline of what has ever existed in our galaxy, let alone in the universe. I absolutely believe in extraterrestrials and other beings and other things living in the universe, and I think it's irresponsible, definitely, to assume that we are the only ones. And it's kind of a comfortable thought that we're not the first, we're not the last, we just are, you know? And I think that's a comforting thought to me, at least, because I know that when I have a really shitty day or a stressful week or feel like everything's going wrong, it is so small in the scheme of things. And that's kind of a cool thought, that just take a step back and remove yourself from that situation to actually look at the big picture of, holy fuck, whatever it is that I'm worrying about is so insignificant. We're on a fucking floating rock in the middle of the universe. Get over yourself. I like that. I really do. Lady Lake, you're asking, do you know if I can find your lashes in Switzerland? For those of you who don't know, I have a false eyelash brand. It is called Socialized Lashes, and we are available worldwide. We have warehouses in Canada, Australia, and the UK, so if you're looking to order from Switzerland, we can absolutely service that, and I really hope you enjoy your lashes when you do end up getting some. Pat Kappa Patka, hopefully I pronounced that right, you're asking, what is my favorite book? That's a good question. I find that hard to answer. I am a very avid reader. I enjoy all sorts of genres. One of my favorite books that I grew up reading was Gone with the Wind. I absolutely adore it. I am a huge fan of historical fiction and that type of genre, so I love that. I love the Outlander series by Diana Gabaldon. I think that was such a beautiful series. Harry Potter is like right up there as some of the best books ever written, hands down. It's hard, yeah, it's hard for me to choose. I really enjoy reading, so I'm pretty much up for reading most things. I don't like reading horror though, and I don't really like thrillers or crime books. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say no to a Dan Brown book, but you know what I mean? I'm not really into the whole Stephen King, get 'em, scary, that's not my kind of stuff. Sam Gray, you're also asking me a question about Socialized. Your question is, how did I go about starting my company, and how did I decide that my product would be eyelashes? Awesome question, and I'm asked this actually quite a lot. I came up with the idea of doing lashes when I was working for Estee Lauder. I used to do makeup at the Estee Lauder counter, and whenever I do prom makeup or wedding makeups, Lauder doesn't have lashes, so they'd always go across to Napoleon Paradis or different places to get lashes, and they were $17 a pair, and I was shitting myself because they're lashes. They're not worth that much. It is all markup, 100%. They're not worth that much. And I just thought, okay, well, clearly there's a huge market for this in Australia. Why don't I try and service that? Hold, please. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm just filming. What's up? I'm back. Anyways, back to your question. So basically it was more of a matter of, this is something that I could create and service in this particular area, and I know that even if I don't have an idea of how to do it, it is something that I could definitely figure out. I'd always had a plan of having a business. That was 100% what I planned on doing with my life before I even stumbled across YouTube. YouTube became a job for me. I wouldn't say a career for me, but definitely a job for me about 3 years ago. And I thought it would be a perfect launching platform for whatever else I ended up creating. And like I said, there had always been the plan of, I want to have my own business of whatever it may be. And so that's kind of how lashes came about. I saw an empty hole in the market in my specific area, and I thought, you know what? Why would I not? This is a really cool idea. So I went from there, and I partnered with my younger brother, Hayden. For those of you who aren't aware, Hayden is the other half of Socialized. And we went from there. Christy, you're asking, why do I call Lola Gil? Okay, I think everyone mistakes it for the wrong word. I'm literally saying girl in a very overpronounced Australian accent as good gal, good gal. I don't really know why we started saying it. When she was a puppy, Brooke would always say good gal to Lola, oh, what a good gal, and kind of really enunciating girl. and it just stuck. So Lola's my good Gil. And everyone thinks I'm saying either Gil or Gil. I'm like, no, it's just girl. It's just me saying girl in a really weird way. Sabine1102 is saying, I struggle a lot with jealousy in my relationship, even without a reason. The weird thing is that I trust him, but not when it comes to this topic. It's really hard for myself and for my boyfriend, and I wanted to know if you have ever struggled with it and if you can give any advice. I've been in 2 serious relationships in my life, one of them being the relationship that I'm in now, and I've been with Glenn for over 5 years. The previous relationship, I was with the guy for about 2 years and we lived together. And it was when I'd basically been 17 and a half through to about 19 and a half. And the biggest thing is that I feel like I became jealous when I lost a sense of self rather than the other person doing something to make me jealous. Whenever I felt like I was jealous and crazy and doing something silly, it was when I wasn't being sure of myself. It had nothing to do with the other person. So I think once I reeled my head back in and tried to actually analyze, okay, well, why am I feeling this way? Is it even something that the other person is doing, or is this just all in my head? And what purpose does this serve? Like, it genuinely is serving me absolutely no purpose to be jealous about something that doesn't even happen, or that isn't happening, or that won't happen. And you have to have enough trust in your partner that they aren't going to give you a reason to be jealous, or they shouldn't give you a reason to be jealous anyway. So I think a lot of it came with maturity, and a lot of it came with just self-reflection. But stay on it. It is like being happy or being positive. It is something that you train your brain into doing. Jealousy, again, is something that you train your brain into doing. It is a pattern, and you can break that pattern. You just have to actively think about it and change it. I've gotten a few questions on what I'm most excited about to be moving back to Canada. I'm most excited for my independence back. I don't drive in Australia, so I have to ask Glenn to drive me. And I miss being able to sit down at the dinner table and having a conversation with Glenn of like, what did you do today? And not knowing what he did. Like, there's no separation. We work together, we live together, I see him all the fucking time. And it's lovely, it is, but it's also lovely to have your own sense of self and your own friends and your own things on the go. And I'm just so friggin' excited to have that again. And I feel like I'm going to grow into myself so much more as an adult doing that, because I haven't had that independence since I was pretty much a teenager. So I'm really excited for this next chapter in our lives of what is life going to be like as an independent 25-year-old living in a city again. I'm very excited for that. So that is all of my questions for this week, but I do have a really exciting announcement that I am planning 3 meetups in Australia. I'm going to be doing a meetup in Melbourne, a meetup in Adelaide, and a meetup in Sydney. The meetup in Melbourne is going to be this Saturday, the 26th of March. I almost said April, it's not April yet. It is this Saturday, the 26th. It's going to be sometime in the afternoon, and I'll give you all of the details on my Facebook and Twitter pages, so make sure you're following me there. The Adelaide meetup is going to be on April the 3rd, which is the Sunday, and again, I'll give you all the details on my Facebook page. And the Sydney meetup will be on Saturday the 9th of April, and it will be at the Makeup Store in Sydney. Again, I'll give you all the details on Facebook and Twitter. I'm sorry I don't have any more details to share right now. I just don't have a sponsor for the other 2, and I have no idea where to hold it in a city that I've never really been to. I've never been to Adelaide. I've been to Melbourne a couple times, but I don't really know where a good place for a meetup would be. So that's kind of the info that I can share with you as of this point. I will update you as soon as I can on all the nitty-gritty stuff, but that's kind of the plan. I would love to meet you, so please come out and say hi. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make somebody smile, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye!